We shall now witness the handover of command symbol to be presided by His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
The handover of command symbol signifies that Lieutenant General Parreño has now relinquished his duties and responsibilities as the Commanding General of the Philippine Air Force and has now been turned over to Lieutenant General Arthur M. Cordura, Philippine Air Force.
Congratulations to the newly appointed Commanding General, Philippine Air Force, Lieutenant General Arthur M. Cordura, Philippine Air Force.
The Philippine Air Force as a major service has undeniably demonstrated a high sense of professionalism in all facets of organizational undertakings. The AFP core values of honor, service, and patriotism are vividly characteristic of what the Philippine Air Force embodies today. It would be accurate to posit that leadership is central to the Philippine Air Force's successful pursuit of organizational development. So as the euphoria of my designation gradually wanes, the reality immediately sinks in on the enormous responsibility bestowed to the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force. And this I duly recognize. I remain confident, nevertheless, that my experience at the major service, general headquarters, and department level prepared me to confront this challenge, especially in handling issues with tactical, operational, and strategic implications to national security. Today, the Philippine Air Force is on the precipice of achieving something great. Opportunities simply present itself with the government leadership who shares the urgency of the AFP modernization program and the dire need to be territorial defense ready. Nonetheless, we all fairly understand that this is the time we need to only not capitalize on the opportunities that our bureaucracy presents, but more importantly, for the Philippine Air Force to consciously seek to create opportunities for its development as well. Hence, moving forward, I see no need to totally reinvent. Instead, thinker on the possibility to enculturate a developmental strategy characterized by simplicity, but robust in content and arguably sustainable, inclusive in scope, and one that does not depart from the present metrics by which we effectively measure organizational success. In this respect, under my term, I intend to pursue a command thrust that focuses on the mission essential task and clearly defines the imperatives for a successful implementation of an integrated air defense system. A command thrust captured in the catchphrase, Focus Philippine Air Force. A focus PAP is mission-oriented, capability-driven, and values-based. This is a command thrust that is a call for retrospection, a call for action, and a call to become a learning organization. It shall be consistent with the Bagong Pilipinas call for a genuine and inclusive development and transformation strategy, and will support the AFP's comprehensive archipelagic defense concept in the development of the Armed Forces of the Philippines' capabilities. A focused Philippine Air Force is an intervention that will follow on current thrust to facilitate Philippine Air Force eventual transition to full TD operations, address the CADC imperatives for force projection and air interdictions, assimilate technologies that enable us to operate effectively across all domains, particularly cyber, and finally, empower human resource to prepare them for the present and future tasks. In this respect, let me emphasize that the focused Philippine Air Force call for retrospection centers on the need to revisit the rich history of the Philippine Air Force, embrace its strong organizational culture, as well as influence the growing modernity in our midst. Consistent with this, there is a need to establish a baseline as dictated by the gains of previous command thrust, revisit the gaps, and review the recommended measures to correct. This shall be undertaken based on a pragmatic approach, and one that adheres to the accepted standards set forth by GHQ and the Department of National Defense. A focused PAP call for action shall demonstrate the inner workings of a mission-oriented organization, one that underpins the focus on fulfilling the Philippine Air Force mandate. Philippine Air Force shall do so focusing on what is mission essential and what promotes interoperability, jointness, and excellence in combined operations. This underscores the need to rethink how the non-mission essentials should be regulated to allow uninterrupted and optimum human and material support in the development of the Philippine Air Force war-fighting capabilities, ensure compliance with the National Military Strategy, the Defense Planning Guidance of 2024, the General Security of Military Information Agreement, and adherence to the Philippine Air Force Flight Plan 2040. Our action shall also be capability-driven. Capability-driven organizations look at all dimensions that makes it responsive, reliable, and effective. As a result, our capability should constitute the ability to synchronize air power and pursue the completion of a near-to-ideal integrated air defense system, capability to operate safely and effectively, and capability of our project management teams to identify, procure, and sustain platforms following the DSOM framework with consideration of the new legal issuances. In relation, Philippine Air Force should relentlessly pursue to seek the golden hour across multi-domain operations, optimizing the advantages of air power. Take action on matters requiring remedies on force structure, human resource, logistics, infrastructures, and those that require policy interventions. Let us do so by aspiring what is ideal in terms of accuracy, speed, and foresight. In all our actions, values will be the constant in our equation for success. Organization who recognizes the importance of values and place a premium practice in its place are better positioned to allow good governance to thrive, transparency to flourish, and morality to be observed. Hence, values should characterize the very persona and character of the common PAP soldier. I likewise advocate that the focused Philippine Air Force is a call to become a learning organization. This is where people continuously learn and enhance their capabilities to create and perform beyond expectations. A learning organization is an important characteristic of a resilient organization. It is anchored on transformational leadership at all tiers of the government and all tiers of the organization. Learning organization invests heavily on the quality of human resource. It perpetuates the conduct of best practices as well as strongly influences the passion to seek new ones. So as we all reflect on this, I enjoin the men and women of the Philippine Air Force to find your niche in the strategy. Seek your role in a focused fast track. Own the plan. Challenge the plan and identify the gaps. Then recommend how we can effectively correct them. Finally, more than anything else, this is a day for gratitude. I would like to thank the authorities who made this designation possible. Our President and Commander-in-Chief, the Secretary of National Defense, our Chief of Staff who heads the Board of Generals, the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force, who approves the recommendation of the Philippine Air Force Board of Senior Officers, to the professional soldiers, men and women of Team Philippine Air Force, whose support I will direly seek. To all the people near and dear to me, to my late father, Colonel Gerardo Sr., Philippine Air Force, who exemplifies true resilience and leadership, who together with my mother, Nanay Fe, guided me and my siblings to learn and live a modest, disciplined, values-based, and God-fearing life. To my wife, Paula, and children, Paulo, Caitlin, and CJ, who forever are my inspiration. Let me end by citing Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. God is great, God is good. Mabuhay po ang bagong Pilipinas, mabuhay ang sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas, mabuhay ang Philippine Air Force.
Today marks a pivotal moment, not just for me personally, but for our beloved Philippine Air Force. It is an honor and a bittersweet privilege to stand before you, reflecting on a journey that began when I was entrusted with the immense responsibility of serving as your commanding general. That moment when the news of this trust was conveyed remains etched in my memory. It was a mixture of pride and humility, knowing the weight of the mission that lay ahead. Guided by the principles of Axel PAF, or to accelerate PAF with excellence, we have journeyed together amidst the challenges, setting new standards of service, achieving breakthroughs in order to become a capable, a credible, and a sustainable force. I am proud of what we have accomplished together, and my gratitude knows no bounds on how we as a united force have surpassed numerous milestones. Our contribution and support to the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept through air domain awareness and surveillance, force projection and mobility, and maritime security support have indeed strengthened and asserted a rightful claim in the West Philippine Sea. In a span of 2 years, we have achieved much by accelerating our efforts in our focus areas, namely public value, accountability, good governance and safety, and force capability development. In the realm of public value, our efforts in operational excellence have been extraordinary. Through our territorial defense operations, we conducted 450 maritime patrol missions, logging 2,529 flying hours, and monitoring 964 unknown tracks within the Philippine Air Defense Identification Zone. Our internal security operations supported law enforcement agencies, local government units, and unified commands, neutralizing threats and saving countless lives. These were carried out through 786 focused military operations with a total of 35,226 flying hours. Moreover, humanitarian assistance and disaster response missions carried over 1.4 million pounds of cargo to those in need and conducted a total of 200 aeromedical missions. These were critical during the PAF's unyielding support during the El Niño season, the chain of typhoons that struck the country in recent months, and the eruptions of Taal and Canlaon volcanoes. All of these achievements translated to a consistent recognition in public service satisfaction with a trust and approval rating which increased significantly from 54% and 65% respectively for calendar year 2023 to an even higher trust and approval rating for calendar year 2024 of 73% and 75% respectively, as reported by Okta Research. These milestones underscore our undeniable public value for our stakeholders, our partners, and the Filipino people as a whole. Under accountability, good governance, and safety, we made sure that we abided with all policies that hold us accountable and prioritized the obligation of funds to maximize resources. The PAF was recognized with the second Amigo Award by the Office of the Solicitor General, highlighting its adherence to justice. Moreover, the PAF received an unmodified opinion from COA for the fairness of the presentation of its consolidated financial statements, while a positive audit observation memorandum for 2 years was also noted by COA for the PAF's effective and efficient use of program appropriation. In the same vein, the PAF garnered a 99.36% rating during the annual general inspection of the Office of the Inspector General, Armed Forces of the Philippines, hailing it as the highest in terms of operational efficiency and readiness. Furthermore, the conferment of the Prime HRM Bronze Award to the Philippine Air Force by the Civil Service Commission recognized our commitment to excellence in human resource management, making us the first unit in the AFP to be conferred such an honor. In furthering good governance, we focused on our digital agenda, developing systems that digitalize 10 key processes such as record management, annual planning and budget validation, health and welfare, and other financial processes. This contributed to greater efficiency in performing and keeping track of operational functions. This in turn contributed to the 94.28% client satisfaction rating from the Anti-Red Tape Authority. On long-term sustainability, we have successfully established the performance-based logistics system with the contracting of the full in-service support for the C295 and the FA-50PH aircraft, ensuring their continuous and timely maintenance. Also, initiatives like the development of the Interoperability Safety Guide Handbook and Maintenance Audit Manual to include the promulgation of 42 manuals and creation of circulars, directives, and standard operating procedures reflect our collective drive for transparency and safety of personnel and assets alike, paving the way for the development of a common maintenance culture Air Force-wide. In force and capability development, we have remained relevant and responsive through our force restructuring efforts, upgrading our units and personal strength to ensure readiness. We expanded our capabilities with the arrival of vital assets such as 10 S-70I Black Hawk helicopters, the additional 2 T-129 attack helicopters, 1 C-295 aircraft, 1 C-130, the advanced fixed and mobile radar systems from Japan, and 1 ground-based air defense system battery, and more are expected to come as they are in the procurement pipelines. The use of these new air assets were supplemented by the rigorous training of our pilots. 197 pilots were sent overseas, accruing 3,556.5 hours of simulator flight time. This prepared our pilots for various scenarios during the conduct of their flight operations. Moreover, 2,527 training programs were conducted centered on territorial defense, while 685 infrastructure projects supported the morale and welfare of our personnel and enhanced our mission effectiveness across the archipelago. More importantly, we have participated a total of 100 international military affairs initiatives, such as bilateral and multilateral meetings, airman-to-airman talks, and combined exercises, most notable of which was the participation of the Philippine Air Force in the Pitch Black exercises in Darwin, Australia, where we sent for the first time our air assets during this month-long multinational exercise and hailed as the rock stars of this event. In all this achievement, I am but an instrument and a guiding hand. I wouldn't have made it without the people who made it all possible. So to our officers, enlisted personnel, and civilian human resource of the Philippine Air Force, your devotion to duty have been the backbone of our progress. In the past 2 years, you have continually inspired me to embody the very essence of service. To our allies, partners, and stakeholders, and of course, our Commander-in-Chief, our Secretary of National Defense, and our Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, thank you very much, sirs, for your unceasing support and collaboration in advancing our shared goals for peace and security. To my former commanding generals and my former bosses, thank you for mentoring me and serving as my role models. To my mistas from the Philippine Military Academy Sambisi class of 1991 and my classmates from the Philippine Air Force Flying School class of 1993 Alpha, thank you for the camaraderie and fellowship through the years. To my close friends and my brethren, thank you for keeping me grounded and helping me into a better person. To my family, my wife, Agnes, my sons, Istvan and Pau, Kiev and Von, my daughter, Madrid, and my granddaughter, Isabel, you have been the pillar of strength and understanding, my inspiration throughout this demanding journey. My gratitude to you is immeasurable. Your love has kept me grounded and focused, and I cannot wait to spend the remainder of my years in your loving embrace. And finally, I owe all that I am and all that I have to the Almighty. His blessings and guidance have steered me through every challenge, and I offer these accomplishments in humble gratitude for the greater glory of His name. Truth be told, it is still a surreal experience for me, landing my final approach on this long stretch of runway, so to speak. Nonetheless, I live with pride, knowing that we have built upon the foundations of our Philippine Air Force and made it better than when we found it. To our new Commanding General, Lieutenant General Cordura, sir, I wish you all the best. And to the valiant airmen and airwomen of the Philippine Air Force, continue to love the service and rally behind your new pilot in command. Persevere in the face of obstacles and pray for strength and wisdom in all that you do. And persevere in the face of obstacles and pray for strength to our God Almighty. So keep the momentum alive and continue accelerating with excellence our Philippine Air Force. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. And reflecting on the words of 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. May we all remain steadfast and faithful in our service to our nation. Mabuhay ang buong papawid ng Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas. To God be all the glory. This is your 39th King Eagle signing off.